This is the Hololive construction server, a public Minecraft server where VTuber fans can get together and build in honor of Hololive Productions. Today we will be looking at a town dedicated to Hololive Promise member NANASHI MUMEI. This is Owl Sanctuary. To start things off, we will be here at the root, the birthplace of the Owl Sanctuary. The waypoint, I guess, pagoda? Hub? Yes, this structure here was actually the first, if not one of the first builds to go up when they started this place. Now, just for context, the server started in March of 2021 and has been going on since, which means when Mumei debuted, people created this town soon after her debut. And it had a very strong start here. This thing has like 3 tiers, great shape, and you're going to notice immediately that the block palette is pretty persistent throughout the rest of the town. You have red on gray on white on brown with hints of green or cyan. You see it not just in the central structure, but also in the roads and the lampposts. These colors do pertain to Mumei's key visuals, with the red being more like a reference to berries or murder. And we're gonna see here that from the hub, the town extends in the 4 cardinal directions. In the south, where the coastline is, we actually have farmland. As Mumei represents humanity in civilization, the cultivation of crops is pretty important to that. You're gonna notice here that there are a few different types of houses. We have these types of private residences here by the beach, covered in towels and umbrellas for any potential sunbathers or beach volleyball enthusiasts. In addition to conventional town member builds, we also have these very fancy looking homes. These fancier homes have a lot of very similar attributes. They seem to be fully furnished with a lot of different amenities. The open space arrangement is perfect for any owls that wish to throw themselves off the balcony. Some of them differ depending on the terrain, and some of them are of larger size. This one over here is a little more elaborate, mind the free parking behind it. I'm not sure if steampunk would be the correct term to describe this style, but I am liking it. Of course, it's not just homes, we also do have businesses in the area. This building is actually an animal cafe. And we all know that Mumei likes her animals, yes? Civilization comes in all sorts of shapes and forms. This house here is, well, it's a tree house. Mumei is a member of Holotory, so you'd think maybe some people would lean more onto the bird route. Or perhaps birds are more inclined to dwell in forested areas. This owl's nest is covered in berries. Or perhaps birds would be more inclined to occupy high elevation places, like this home at the top of this plateau. Although why build someplace with altitude when you can build with altitude? This watchtower over here looks over the northern coast. I think it serves as some sort of lighthouse because the area below it is a shipyard of sorts. You can't have civilization without commerce and trade, and this is certainly used to facilitate that. But a shipping yard full of wood? What would you need all that lumber for? Well, maybe to produce all the pulp needed to make this giant statue of Friend. This monument to Mumei's paper bag Friend originally sat atop a hill, but since then, it looks like it has been converted into a more stable, bricked up foundation. But if we're talking oversized Mumei memorabilia, we also have this large-sized owl sitting atop this clock tower. It's definitely leaning more into the steampunk here, with the various chimneys as well as the gear shapes protruding from the sides. Even the interior features these giant gears. But it does appear to always be midnight on this clock. But you know, the funny thing is, this isn't even the largest owl in town, because there's an even larger owl next to it. This here's a monument with this giant statue of Mumei at the center. Of course, I'm not really sure what's with the choice of smoke. Like, I'm not really sure, are they trying to slow roast this bird or what? You could certainly host a large gathering of people to gaze in awe of Mumei's greatness. Although if we're going to talk about size, we have to talk about this large build over here. Truth is, I don't know what this build is supposed to be. I think it's a church, maybe it's a reference to a real-life structure. There's not much in the way of furnishings on the inside, however, the interior walls would suggest that maybe this was a place of worship, or maybe a government building of sorts. But all this talk about size and shape, Mumei memorabilia, this last build here takes the cake on all those categories. This here is the local train station for Owl Sanctuary. Similar to other very impressive train stations that we've seen around the server, this here was a massive project, which also has a time-lapse, which I will be linking in the description. It is a building supported by 2 separate trees, mounted atop by an owl. The trees themselves twist and turn. The building itself is accessible from the bottom. The station interior is actually very open and has a natural feel to it. The roof adorning Mumei's penlight colors accordingly. The roof and the leaves of the trees already have so much variety and shape to it, and then you get even more of that from the giant owl. The owl itself sculpted in an action sort of perching pose. It's technically not even perched, it's not grabbing onto anything. The gradients in the feathers, the stare from its face. Not only is this a great standalone build, it just straight up matches the rest of the town. And you know, I think the residents of Mumei Town did a wonderful job creating their own slice of civilization. And yeah, I suppose that's everything available at Owl Sanctuary. So I'll be wrapping up the tour here. Thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, maybe consider subscribing to NANASHI MUMEI. If you're interested in the builds, the server is public, so you are able to view it in-game, and if you wanted to also play and build yourself, that's also an option. I'm also going to be listing all of the town members and contributors just on screen right now. I suppose do let me know in the comments if there are any specific Hololive members whose towns you would like to see in the future. Until then, I guess I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.